Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm here with my lovely wife, Dr. Alicia. How you doing today, babe?
Let me tell you, boot camp kicked my butt this morning.
Boot camp, okay. Tell me
Yeah,
more.
we just did. I think the problem was that on top of boot camp, I was still working out. And I just
Mhm.
think my body was just depleted today.
Mm.
It was really rough. I'm
Uh,
not going tomorrow. I'm sleeping in tomorrow.
yeah, we were in the 5 a.m. club this morning. We got up at
Crazy.
5:02. You said, Boyce, it's 5:02. We got 10 minutes.
That's right. We have to leave the house by a certain time or we're not going to make it, or I'm not going to make it. And if you're late to boot camp, you have to do 25 burpees.
What's a burpee?
It is something I hate doing. You
I
have to
don't.
get down and you have to kick your legs out and you have to jump up in the air. And
Uh,
25 of them.
well, I hope you love it because I ain't going. I go to Planet Fitness.
I'm gonna invite you to a family friends day.
I did it last year. It was fun. I like
See,
you.
you enjoyed it.
All your little white friends at boot camp.
Man, they motivate me. I love it.
Well, you know what? Hey, I shout out to you. All right, hey everybody, how you doing? Do me a quick favor. Give me a yes if you can hear us. Let us know if the audio is coming through okay. In case you don't know, the Pillow Talk is something I do with my lovely wife, Dr. Alicia. My name is Boyce Watkins. I'm a professor of finance. And my wife, Dr. Alicia, she is a full professor of social work and a licensed therapist. And also, just in case you want to get a free copy of my book, Financial Lovemaking, and get some relationship help from Dr. Alicia, you can actually go to boyceandalicia.com. My book is free. You can go to boyceandalicia.com to take a look. All right, so thank you, Tara Redmond, Yoshika. How you doing, Yoshika? She's always here. I love seeing Yoshika's name in the chat. Rod Jennings, Kilo. Good to see you, Cynthia Brewer, Tara Redmond, another familiar name. My name is Corey. Yes, my name is. Every time I say my name is Corey, people always think I'm saying my name is Corey. I just got to start calling him Corey.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pimp named Slickback.
Pimp named Slickback. Yeah.
Not Slickback. It's a pimp named Slickback.
That's from
Boondocks.
Boondocks, in case
Yes.
people know.
Aaron Magruder, one of the great geniuses of
Oh,
all
he's a
time.
genius. He's so hilarious.
Yes, he is. Okay, so let's talk about this debate. Give me a yes in the chat if you watched the debate. How many of y'all watched the debate last night between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? It's not Kamala, it is
It's
Kamala.
Kamala like Pamela.
Or like comma versus
Can't do
period.
comma.
Period.
I think I started getting it right when I started thinking about Pamela.
Mm,
Kamala,
mm,
right?
mm-hmm.
Like Pamela. That's how I got her name right.
Yeah, interesting. How do they pronounce it in India?
Oh, who knows? In India.
Like, anyways,
Well, Kamala is an Indian name.
is it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Well, what do y'all think? Who do you think won the debate? So put your name, put a one word in the chat. If you think Trump won, put Trump. If you think Kamala won, you can put Kamala. That's more interesting than saying Harris. It's like Trump and Kamala, not Donald and Harris or Donald and Kamala. Like
Interesting.
nobody says Donald.
Donald and Kamala.
Yeah, Donald is not an interesting name. It makes me think about Donald Duck, and Harris is not an interesting name
So
because
it's like
Harris is.
Trump and Kamala.
Yeah, Trump and Kamala, like that. Those are the distinctive parts of their name.
It's
Because
gotta be something to that.
there is. Well,
Yeah.
I think Kamala is a very unique name. I think Trump is a name. I mean, it's a $1 billion brand. There are entire
Sure.
brands named
Yeah.
after that. So yeah, so okay, so let's see. Rod says Kamala for sure. My brother says Kamala. Leslie says Kamala. Who said Trump? Somebody said Trump. Global Logistics said Trump. Let me just tell you, y'all know me. I hope you know. Give me a yes if you know my position on the politics. I don't. I'm not big on Democrat or Republican stuff, and I also don't care who you vote for. I really don't. That's not. I care about how you feel about our community. I care about what you're doing, whether you're taking care of your kids, are you building wealth, are you staying healthy? That's what I want. But I will say this. I'm gonna say Kamala.
Oh, she was well prepared.
Kamala prepared for that debate
She was
and
ready.
she showed up.
I think, like, for me as a viewer, the first 15 minutes was a little shaky for her. That was like
Mm,
the weakest part of her.
maybe she was a little
If I could point out a weak part,
think she was nervous.
I don't know. Maybe, I think she over anticipated Trump's preparation for the debate. I
Okay.
think she had tactics in her head, was like, okay, I'm going to say this, and then Trump's going to say this, and I'm going to say that. And
Mm,
I just think that she overestimated Trump, and Trump underestimated her. And then
mm.
eventually she's like, oh, I got this. So, like, the last 75% of this debate, she just killed it. She was so
Yeah.
well prepared,
Well,
very good.
well, you know what? I think that in this case, her experience as a prosecutor really like gave her an advantage because
Yeah.
bec- two things that come to mind. First off, did I ever tell you the lady I was engaged to was a prosecutor?
Oh, was she?
Yeah, this is my previous life.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
remember this. I was so happy when you got engaged. I was so ready to dance at your wedding.
yeah, you were, and here you were, and you did dance at
I
my
did
wedding.
dance at your
Yes,
wedding.
you did. You danced with me. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah, she was a prosecutor, and the thing about the reason I believe Kamala's background as a prosecutor gave her a huge advantage is that prosecutors are very good at two things that helped her in this debate. One is preparation. You
Mm,
prepare when you go to court. You don't. You
that's
can't. Yeah, you
right.
can't shoot from the hip and just kind of swing it. I think that she was
Yeah.
preparing for this like she prepares for a prosecution. And then two, here's the other thing that prosecutions are good at. In every criminal trial, there is the prosecutor and the what?
Defendant.
The defense.
Defense.
Defense. So
Yeah.
here's what, and I want y'all to let me know if you're following my logic here. Prosecutors are really good at getting you on the defensive.
Yeah.
And one thing I can tell you, from all my time playing poker, and
Oh.
I'm pretty good at poker. One thing I know about playing poker is in strategy is you cannot allow somebody to keep you on the defensive because you can't score points. It's hard to score points on defense. And what she did masterfully was she drilled up his butt. She was drilling this. She did him like a Diddy party.
She
She
did.
had him on she had that man on the defensive. She had him defending himself more than he was actually able to attack. She'd say she baited him. She'd be like, if she said something about the crowd sizes, he'd be like, my crowds are big. My crowds are big. I have wonderful crowds, right? And I was like, wow, you spent all that time defending yourself, but you didn't spend one word of that
My
actually
numbers are big.
attacking.
I got more votes than any other president in history.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and she did some other areas. I can't remember everything. I gotta watch it again. Well, I don't know if I got that kind of time, but I was like, that's interesting. She's really got him strategically making huge blunders because she's got him on the defensive. You cannot win on the defense. Even Roger Stone, one of Trump's buddies, I saw the documentary "Get Me Roger Stone,"
Mm-hmm.
and one of Roger Stone's rules is he said, "You never defend, you always attack." He broke that rule, and that's why
Now,
he got
this
pummeled.
this is the thing. It seems like Kamala was very well prepared, but Trump,
It's Kamala.
okay, stop, don't correct me. You know I don't like that.
Madam
Um,
President, if you're nasty.
oh gosh. Here's the thing. Who prepared Trump for this debate? Did he just like wake up one
Mm,
morning, drink a cup of coffee, and go, I'm ready? Like, it didn't seem like he had well prepared answers. He was just, and this is what people love about Trump is the fact that he speaks from the cuff. Like, he doesn't, you can tell he doesn't really have prepared answers or not much of a strategy going into things. He just speaks from the heart. And I think that only gets you somewhere, but it gets you just so far. But I think he really needed to have been a little more strategic. And I think like he was just losing people talking about immigrants eating animals. I mean, you was just
yeah,
like you just lost me on this. Like it was
yeah,
a little too bizarre, like
yeah.
one-off situations. I think he just came across as just some lunatic.
Well, it definitely came off extreme, and
Yeah.
I think if he wanted to make the point about the border, which that bothers me, I don't understand how you think your country's safe and you're letting millions of people across the border, like because in Chicago, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but a lot of the murders in Chicago are linked directly to drug cartels. So I'm sorry, you when you're bringing in so many people,
Okay, let's not talk about I don't
okay,
want to talk about immigration policy with you.
I firmly
Okay?
believe that 99% of the people that come across the border are not going to hurt anybody. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the 1% because I do know people who've been murdered by drug cartels.
Well, I do know there's been a rash of killings and none of them have been immigrants. So
Um,
I would just say these are people who are just born and raised. But I don't want to go down the pigeonhole of having this debate with you about immigration.
okay,
I would rather say she had a really good answer for him with the immigration thing. She said, we had a bill. We had a bill. We wanted to involve Congress, and you encouraged everybody to disagree and to vote it down. So I think the strategic part that I think we need to focus on was the fact that she had an answer. Everything that he said, everything he did to actually attack her, she had an answer for,
well, I
you
do I
know.
do think that she did. I think that though I still think he could have really drilled on the immigration issue more because I know there are people like me. I don't like that. I just don't. It bothers me,
Well, I think it
because
bothers you because you are getting sucked up into this, I think was called overdrawn hype,
I don't
overdone.
think it's overdrawn hype. I don't because let me explain. Let me explain. I know somebody who tried it.
I
I
want to
know
talk about
but I
this.
know somebody who married a man in Denmark and tried to move to Denmark. And you would think, well, that her husband lives there. She had kids with the man. Why can't she move to Denmark? They made her wait 7 years to immigrate because they were like, we're very concerned about letting anybody in our country who shouldn't be here. And
I've been to Denmark.
right,
They need to stop it because it
no,
is so freaking cold in Denmark. I was in Denmark in August and it was like 50 degrees outside. Nobody is breaking their backs trying to break into Denmark. Like, excuse me, Denmark. You're a beautiful culture, beautiful people, but it is a cold ass rock. Who the heck wants to go to Northern
well,
Europe?
that's not the point, man.
But
You're
they
getting
don't have no
you're
problem.
doing a Donald Trump right now. You're distracted from the issue. The point is to say that border security is important, and I think that what's unfortunate is that we're going to have another 9/11 level nuclear attack or something like that in on our soil before we start saying, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't have left the back door wide open for anybody to
Mhm.
walk in. I,
Well, I'm more concerned with the individuals who actually live in this country, and I am concerned with the mental health of people. I'm really disturbed by what happened at that school in Georgia, and there's enough problems going on here where I don't think we need to blow up or magnify an issue that really isn't there as much as what Kamala Harris talked about, the economy, like policy. She actually had some things to say to yesterday.
She did. I do agree.
Yeah.
So by the way, everybody, you're watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. This is my wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. If you could take a moment, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, I want to let you guys know Dr. Alicia is a licensed therapist and full professor of social work, and she sees clients on an individual basis. She sees couples, she sees families. So if you'd like to learn more about what she does or schedule an appointment, feel free to reach out to coaching with dralicia.com. That's coaching with dralicia.com. Also, I want to remind everybody the All Black National Convention is coming soon. If you believe in solving problems for our community, which I believe that we have to solve our own problems. I don't think Democrats are going to do it. I don't think Republicans are going to do it. But we're doing it. And we gather over 60 experts every year, as well as hundreds and hundreds of people from around the country, around the world, actually, who believe that our community matters and that we can actually do things ourselves. So feel free to join us at the convention. It's a lot of fun. You can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And the event is October 25th through the 27th in Chicago, which in a suburb of Chicago called Lombard, Illinois. And as you can see, we're in our ninth year of this convention. It is not corporate sponsored, not sponsored by any politicians, not government sponsored, no Democrat, Republican stuff, just black first. That's it. Black wealth, black families, black mental health, black physical health. That's what we do because we believe in solving our own problems. So feel free to join us this year. All right, so let's get back to this topic. So we got Trump in this debate with Kamala. Let me tell you one thing. I'm gonna give Kamala big props on this. She did a really good job of understanding. Here, first thing I'll say, I'm gonna say twofold. One, Trump is a prick, right? Whether you like him or not, you have to admit he's kind of a jerk. Kamala represents a different kind of energy. I'm not going to say she's not a jerk. Maybe she is, because there are reports out there about the difficulty of working for Kamala. But I will say one of the problems with Trump is he does not come off as a guy who listens very well. So my theory on why he didn't appear to be prepared and he didn't really nail his points is because people probably tried to help him and prepare him,
Mm,
and he didn't listen. And I always say this. I say it based on instinct because I told you about how I've dealt with, like, for example, different rappers. I think a lot of rappers like Trump because he kind of comes off like a lot of hip hop guys, very arrogant, very cocky, etc. Almost borderline narcissistic, but I know that's a diagnosable term and I don't want to use
I
it too
mean,
loosely.
he has behaviors congruent with someone who would be narcissistic, but we don't, of course, we don't know if he really is, but he's coming across similar to somebody who would be narcissistic, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, like this grumpy old man, and he's always been kind of a blowhard. I mean, this has been true for 35 years, 40 years. But anyway, with the reason I make that point is because I think that that played a part in his lack of preparation. I'm sure there were people who warned him and said,
Yeah.
"Look, you got to take this seriously." And I think he was like, "Oh, I got this. I'm gonna win." You know, and it reminds me of, like, when I was telling you about different rappers that
Yeah.
I've interacted with, and I contrasted them. I said, Trump reminds me of when I spent that time with Kanye West and Damon Dash. I remember, you listen to Trump, how he talks about how he's so important and he did this and he did that. I, me, me,
Mhm.
me. I remember when Kanye we were on the phone and he said, "I'm the most important person in the world next to Vladimir Putin and shit."
He did say
And
that.
he said that to me, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Why are you saying this to me?" Like, I get it. If you want to say it on TV because people are impressed with that bullshit, do it. But why are you saying it to me? I'm not impressed. I don't care. And unfortunately, as much as I love Damon Dash, we were very close. I just remember kind of thinking, like, if you really open your mind a little bit and took advice, I mean, really took the advice and applied it, you could do amazing things. But sometimes our ego can cause us to not hear good people around us. They say the best question a leader can ask their team is, "What do you think?"
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, they're not going to do that. And it is funny because individuals with narcissistic tendencies, they always shoot themselves in the foot.
Mm,
They always are lacking in some way. And then, it's a tough it's tough working with them. And a lot of it is just it's to me, it's based on a deep-seated feeling of insecurity. And even
mm,
during the debate, right? It just looked as if like Trump was staring into the camera and he just
mm,
looked like a little child who was being scolded by Kamala, his mother. She would look at him and talk to him and talk like, here's what we need to do. And she would say these things to him, and he was just look down. He wouldn't even look at her. It was have you ever seen, like, a kid that gets in trouble at school, and then his mom
mm.
comes in and just starts, like, berating him, and then he just kinda looks down, he doesn't respond, no eye contact, because children sometimes are taught not to give their parent eye contact because it's seen as disrespect. So he just kinda broke into this kinda child mode who got in trouble at school, and the principal or his mother are, like, wagging their finger at him, telling him what he did wrong. Like, that was the dynamic that I got on that screen, like, watching that.
Well, what I got from it was, again, because I just really firmly believe Trump wasn't listening to his team.
Mm,
If you remember before the debate, anybody remember this? Let me know if y'all remember this. There was a negotiation that took place, and one aspect of the negotiation was, do we leave the mics on or leave them off when the other person's talking?
mhm.
Kamala wanted to leave the mics on. I guess so she could come in with her sound bites, I'm speaking, Mr. President, I'm speaking, right? Or whatever, right? And they didn't let her, they chose not to leave the mics on. Well, Kamala, because she has a smart team apparently who that she listens to, understood something important about communication, that 75% of all communication is
Nonverbal.
nonverbal.
Yeah.
Yes. So Kamala did a great job of using that airtime that Trump was, blustering about whatever,
Mhm.
immigrants eating puppies or whatever. And she gave him looks
She
that
did.
she was communicating with her face, with her facial expressions, with her hand on the chin, like, oh my god, like, wow, I can't believe you said, what are you, no way.
Yes.
I said, you know what, okay, props to you, that
It's
was very
science to
smart.
this because she's
Yes,
mimicking how somebody would be looking at someone like that.
yes,
Making these
yes.
outrageous statements like, huh, you're trying to be the bigger person. That's great.
Yeah, and
She
if you
came across presidential.
yeah, and if you look at Trump's face when Kamala was talking, I mean, again, strategic
He looked
blunder.
grumpy.
He looked grumpy. He was just sitting there. He was just sitting there listening. But I'm like, dude, I was like, huh, that's interesting. Like nobody told you. Like you should be looking at her like, what? Are you out of your mind?
He
Like this.
looked weak. I'm telling you, he looked weak. He looked like
He did.
a little boy who got in
Ooh,
trouble. That was
ouch.
the look on his face. I'm not certain, I mean, say what we want to say about politics. Say what you want to say about even Trump's politics. Not that I disagree with everything he has to say, but I don't think he can execute. He doesn't have the ability to execute a lot of what he is promoting.
um, I think he would have a hard time just because he is divisive, and I think a president that wants to really get something done can't be too divisive. I'm hopeful. Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell everybody. I saw this great story in the Wall Street Journal about a guy who's predicted the last X number of elections since like 1960,
Oh.
and he basically says the Democrats are gonna win. And he had a bunch of variables. He laid out his model. He made his argument, and I was like, yeah, he's making a good argument. So it looks like Kamala will be that first first female president. You can debate whether or not you feel like she's the first black president. She's certainly not the first president who is a black descendant of American slavery. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for my version of a black president. But hey, you can't take away her Jamaican roots, right? Her,
Well, we got something close with Barack Obama because Michelle for sure is black.
that's true.
Let me tell
That's
you.
true. She is. Yeah.
And she had his ear.
Well, I wish Michelle would use her voice more in the support of reparations.
She is not going near that topic, is she?
Right, she won't touch it, and
Mm-mm.
that's disappointing.
It is.
It makes me wonder what do they have over her head because she's smart enough to know she knows what happened to us. She knows what they did. She's been on the South Side of Chicago. She's seen what that community looks like. So I don't understand why it's like, oh yeah, well we're gonna be Stevie Wonder right now, and we don't see what millions and millions and millions of black people are upset about, and even Kamala sees it. Kamala's
Yeah,
having
she's been able to change some of her language about it, but I don't see anything in the works.
well that
Nothing's
and
brewing.
right, and that's the problem, right? The politicians will do a lot of talking
Yeah.
first, because talk is cheap, right? So they're going to serve your purpose as cheaply as possible. So they're going to say, okay, if I can get you to be satisfied with me just acknowledging you or
Yeah.
whatever, then I'm going to do it. So you have to keep pushing.
It's politics, right? I mean, in the true sense of the word. I do think that if they can get student loan forgiveness, they can actually execute that student loan forgiveness, that would be wonderful for black people.
I think
Because disproportionately, we are just affected by student loans.
if they can execute at a high
Yeah.
enough level where it really affects millions and millions of people and not just a few select people,
Mm-hmm.
I think also remember this though, the Biden is the one who caused the student loan debt crisis.
Yeah.
He pushed for the law saying that you
Mm-hmm.
can't write your student loans off in a bankruptcy, and he didn't do it because people wanted it. He didn't do it on behalf of the American people. He did it on behalf of banks.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're really cleaning up a mess that they created. So
And it is a double-edged sword because you cannot win the presidency without having corporations by your side. Like you
mm,
can't win. You can't win. You need the money to run, so you have got to satisfy the people who put you in office. It's a tough one.
it is. It is. It is. Well, I want to make it clear to everybody. I know people are voting for different sides, and God bless you. Whoever you vote for, do it. I'm gonna tell you. I know that I don't think that I don't think who we vote for as Black people makes a big difference in terms of where we are when it comes to the things that matter, like wealth and
No.
rebuilding our families and stuff like that. So I'm gonna tell if anybody wants to know where I stand, I'm not voting Democrat or Republican, and I never really ask you who you're gonna vote for, do I?
Um, no, you don't. You don't ask me much of anything, really.
I ask you things.
It's
I might ask,
unusual for you to
well,
ask me
well,
things.
I ask you like what's for dinner
You don't
and
even hardly ask
how
me
you
that.
doing today, babe? Well, dinner I trust you. I know whatever you cook is gonna be good.
That's right. So you don't really, there's not much that you ask of me.
Mm.
Now I ask you a lot of things.
Now I might
I
ask.
ask you for more things than you ask of me.
Uh huh.
So what is that about?
Well, I would ask. I don't know. I would ask you like,
I'd like to know what that's
can I
about.
have some sugar?
You don't
Can
even
I?
ask me that. You just come and get it.
That's so true. Oh, that am I toxic? What do they call
You're
it?
not toxic. I
Is
always
that my toxic
no,
masculinity?
because I always tell you you can always come and get it.
Ooh, ooh, getting spicy up in here on a Wednesday morning.
So you don't
Well, we
ask
are
for
laying in the
it.
bed. So speaking of that, all right. So let's see. Girl Speak says I expected to hear the doctors discuss the data, the impact of migrants on Black Americans' access to resources on housing, but instead we get people kissing up to this failed party. So it looks like Girl Speak is pretty upset. Well, I'll tell you what. I actually Thursday nights, if you join us for Powernomics training, that's when I read Dr. Claude Anderson books, and he has some pretty strong opinions about the impact of immigration on Black people. And also, Jamal Green, who's an activist in Chicago, came to my podcast not long ago, and he gave me a really interesting perspective on what's going on in Chicago with with the flood of migrants. So that is a conversation we can have, but it's not one we have time to have today. But if you go back and look at some of my content, we've addressed all that stuff for sure. Let's see. Dr. Bush comes off as arrogant in the best possible way. I'll take that as a compliment.
So wait, so what's your response to hearing something like that? Arrogant.
Arrogant?
Like how do you deal with the fact that everybody they be souping you up, boys?
What?
I
Oh,
see people, they be just be
I don't think I don't. I
and I
think
know you love words of
I don't
affirmation.
like this. I don't. I try my no. I think arrogance is a weakness. I don't. My goal is I
Okay.
don't seek out arrogance. I want to be confident. Confident is built on substance.
Okay.
Like I'm very confident in my knowledge base. I know how many I know I went to school for many years, and I know enough to know that how little I know. I know enough to know that I don't know everything. I know enough to know that that I should listen to people, right? And that makes me comfortable. Like so, for example, we were talking earlier about Trump and his arrogance, and that I think is a liability. I if I have if my instincts are right, and sometimes they are, depends. I suspect that when Kamala prepared for this debate, she sat with her team and said, "Okay, let's get ready." She got ready for it the
Yeah.
same way a really good prosecutor gets ready for a big case. She went through every detail, prepared for every nuance, and she listened to her team. Trump, I bet you, did not take his team's advice and felt like he could just wing it because he was confident. And I told you, when the rappers love him because he has a rapper energy, and and again, I compared it to my interaction with rappers. So I talked about Kanye and Dame Dash. Unfortunately, two guys that don't take a lot of advice from the people around them, and it leads to like these tragic mistakes I've seen. Whereas other rappers I interacted with, just so people know, I don't hate rappers. People think I hate rappers when I talk like that. I remember when I talked to LL Cool J about a problem he was having.
Mhm.
And I always pay attention. I always try to see like, did you waste my time or are you going to take my advice? LL went on the show, and I was like, I wonder if he's going to say some of the stuff that I told him to say in the response to the controversy. He did it like clockwork. He said exactly what I told him to say, and it went over wonderfully. I said,
That's
good,
great.
that is a smart man. Yeah, and if you look, his career's been really good. I think because he's got good advisors and he listens to people.
Mhm.
Same thing, Ice Cube. But when Ice Cube went on with Chris Cuomo, I was like, okay, I think you should hit on this and hit on this and hit on this. Boom, boom, boom. Look at Ice Cube. He's succeeding. Why? Well, because Ice Cube's smart enough to know to listen to people.
Yeah,
You
he
got people
listened.
out here that know stuff.
He pulled together an entire team of people. Remember when he was describing that to
Mhm.
come up with that contract with Black America or whatever it is? He did
Yes.
not do that on his own. I
Yes.
don't know how he put those people together, and it was a beautiful contract. I mean, it was
It was
great.
extraordinarily good.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists, and I hate saying it, but Kanye couldn't have done that. Because
No.
Kanye would have in his mind, I think he would believe that he possesses all the best ideas. And
Oh.
if you try to come with another idea, if you sit down and you say, hey, maybe we should try this or try that, you can have a whole doctorate in that whole area that you're referencing, and he would act
Yeah.
like God gave him a PhD in that topic. So you can't talk. I don't work with people like that. When
Yeah.
somebody has that mindset, number one, that will make you a terrible leader. This is a little tip for anybody. I don't know how many of y'all are running a business or heading a household or doing anything that involves leadership. Let me give you a little leadership tip. The best thing you can do as a leader is understand that it ain't all about you, and that the quality of your team is not just something that's required for you to really be your best. but you also have to respect them. You got to listen and hear what they have to say. You know, if you come in there like, I got to be, King Kong consciousness, and I'm the leader, and I'm the one, and I'm the man, I'm the alpha, and you're squashing other people's energy. You're kind of telling these other
Mhm.
people they don't matter. People, not only are people not going to really want to serve you, they only serve you out of maybe fear or something, but they're not really good. People won't serve a person like that. They won't work with a person like that. And then secondly, the minute they get a chance to abandon you or betray you, they're going to do it.
Well, they
Yeah,
might do it anyway.
yeah, yeah.
Some of
So,
these
so,
people.
so ultimately, I would just say, if you are trying to start, if you're running a business or whatever, pay attention to your team. Listen to the people around you. So Girl Speak says, I see why I stopped listening to Boyce years ago. Well, good for you. Well, how about I just
Well,
help?
he's listening today.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that a
See,
girl
that
or a
wasn't very
boy?
nice. I don't know. It's Girl Speak, so I don't know what the hell
The
that means.
picture looks like a man.
Yeah, it's a manly
Maybe
looking
it's a
girl.
girl that looks like a man.
It's hard to tell.
Anyway, I
Yeah,
can't see
yeah,
much of
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
But it's
Anyway,
okay. I mean, she or he, Shem, is still listening to us.
well, it's kind of funny when somebody's like, "I'm glad I stopped listening to you." I'm like, "But you're
But
here.
you're listening to
You're
us.
listening to me. You shouldn't be here."
You
Like,
can't stop listening. But
right.
it's you. People love listening to you. I like listening to you.
Well, I like listening to you too. Thank you.
Which
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I like listening to me too.
No, I don't. That's not. No, I'm not. Who knows? I could probably be accused of that. But but anyway, yeah, Girl Speak. Go ahead and don't do. You ain't got. You shouldn't be here. I'm sure they got some space down
No,
at the liquor store.
no, no. We're open for everybody.
I'm not. You
I
are.
am. I'm open for anybody. The criticism is greatly
See,
appreciated
well, that's why you're a therapist and I'm not.
because I don't get into it. My job is not to impress girl speak. My
Mm-mm.
job is to get here and to talk.
Damn. Wow, you're so good at what you do. I respect that.
You are
Give me a
funny.
kiss.
Aw.
Kiss the therapist. All right. So anyway, guys, we're gonna get out of here. I'm actually gonna rest a little bit before we do our financial consciousness training. It's a free class I do every morning at 9 a.m. If you guys want to join. And Dr. Alicia does a weekly book club. When do you do your book club typically?
Sundays,
Yeah,
Sunday
Sundays,
night.
Sunday nights. Yeah. So
Mhm.
actually, if you want to join Dr. Alicia's book club, you were reading a book called what? How to Be an Adult in Relationships.
Yeah, how to be an adult in relationships.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
5 keys to mindful loving.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
if you are interested in that topic and you want to join Dr. Alicia's book club, we can send you a text notification when she goes live. Pull out your phone, text the word love to the number 87948. So if you text love to 87948, she will send you a notification. Also, her website is coachingwithdralicia.com. So feel free to visit coachingwithdralicia.com.
And
Uh,
love speak is invited, of course.
very
Not love speak, girl
Girl
speak.
speak. I'd
Sorry.
like to meet girl speak in person.
I
Because,
don't know
because,
about
but,
all
'cause-
that.
but the big question is, are you really a girl, or are you like a? Because that looked like a guy on her.
It seemed like girl speak would be a girl. It's just the way the picture looks, and
That's
it's
true.
really tiny on your
Well,
phone.
girl speaks a grumpy girl. I don't like that. Anyway,
Well,
so
she should come to the book club.
Yoshika's asking a question. So she says, Dr. Boyce, will the APNC ever come to New Orleans? We don't have any plans in the immediate future, but it's not out of the question. It looks like next year will probably be Atlanta because there is an opportunity for us to do the convention at a far reduced rate because we got some supporters down there. Dr. Ken Harris and the Black Business League have really offered some great support, and so we may do that. But and next year will be our 10th year. So if you guys want,
Oh,
yeah, I'm excited. Right, that's a big deal.
that's a very big deal.
Yeah, and yeah, we did this with the black, black people. We did this whole convention by ourselves. We funded it, and we've had so many great people there, and it's been amazing. So, anyway, everybody, if you want to join us at the convention, it's October 25th through the 27th. You can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And I hope you guys have a great day. And also, if you'd like to join us in class for Money in the Morning, the Economic Elevation. I start at 9 a.m. Central Time this morning, which is actually 10 a.m. Eastern. I do this every single morning, so feel free to text the word morning to 87948, and I'll send you an invitation. Text morning to 87948. All right, guys, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless you, and we will see you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.